Hey YouTube, we're back and we've got another video on the old Stevens shotgun. We Stevens, they sold these things under a bunch of different a bunch of different names. I don't know every single name, but this one was sold under the name Revelation. I don't know, you tell me. But you know, anyway, it's in restoration now as we're speaking. But let me go ahead and pause this video while I disassemble the gun and remove the barrel that we polished. I'm not entirely sure that with YouTube's gun rules, I'm not actually entirely sure that I can show you how to disassemble a gun. But anyway, I'll pause the video real quick, and then when you see it again, the barrel will be removed. Alright, now, that looked like magic, didn't it, YouTube? Alright, I'm going to go ahead and let y'all get a better look at this barrel we polished. Unfortunately for us, let's see if I actually got that. I don't know how well y'all can see that with the bad lighting in here, but that barrel is silver now. I had to remove all the bluing because of the spots and the rust. Let me put it back up here. I think you could actually see it better up here. But I just went ahead and took it all the way down. I left the bluing here on the bottom side of the barrel because there's no rust here. And this part's covered by the stock anyway, so you can't see it. But this, we went ahead and sanded it all down, and we polished it with 400 grit, and then we actually went over it again with 500 grit, and we coated the barrel in oil before we did that. And it's polished up really nice. It's a good looking barrel now. There's no pitting anywhere in this barrel. Although I freely admit the little spots of rust that were on it, not sure if y'all can actually see that. I was not able to get the black spots out that were under the rust. I tried and I just couldn't do it. I didn't want to sand and possibly get the barrel out of round anymore, and that would look really weird. But anyway, it looks really good like it is, and I mean, the only real spots, black spots from the rust is right under here. Up here is good, and this is the part that you're gonna see. And right here where whoever cut the barrel down, I don't know how they done it exactly, but they've left a little ridge here. And I'm sure I could take a file and file that ridge down, but a file is kind of rough, and it'd leave marks that I don't think I'd be able to polish out. So I figured the best thing to do is just leave the ridge. I mean, it's not that bad. I mean, you can barely feel it, and I think once it's blued again, you won't even know it's there. I certainly didn't know it was there until I started polishing on it. But alrighty, that's it for that. I was gonna show more video on the actual polishing, but I just wanted to get it done. And plus I'm not sure exactly how much of that I can show. But let's go on and get on to the subject of tonight's video. We're gonna be rebluing this barrel, and we're not going to be using any kind of chemical bluing or red rust bluing or anything like that. But I mean, this is a mass-produced shotgun, which for the standard of the times that it was made, this was a throwaway gun. As ironic as it is, throwaway quality back then was better than today's quality, period. I mean, this gun is potentially 35 years old or more, and it's fine. There's no problems with it mechanically. But all right, I'm gonna pause the video, reset the camera. Well, I guess I need to tell you how we're gonna do it. We're using hot oil bluing, and what we're gonna do, since I don't really like the idea of using a torch to try to heat this thing up, because it may cause variations in the color. I need it to be heated and all to one even temperature. And how we're going to achieve that, we're going to put it in the oven. Yeah, well, don't what is it the young kids say? Oh yeah, don't knock it until you try it. Of course, if this don't work, y'all might not ever see this video. Nah, if it don't work, I'll still upload it. You know, I mean, if it don't work, that's fine. I'll take the damn thing and paint it. You know, no skin off my back. I don't care for sawed-off shotguns anyway. But all right, let me pause the video and reset the camera. Okay, YouTube, we're ready to put this thing in the oven. This is, you know, I've got a piece of wire run through the barrel so I can get this thing out. And you know what? I gotta wipe the fingerprints off this thing, YouTube. Alright. Yeah, when you're messing around with this kind of stuff, you don't want fingerprints on it, or they'll be burnt in there permanently. Well, not permanently. You could sand them back out, but then you got to redo the whole thing. Alright, we got this on a piece of wire. We're gonna stick it in the oven. Yeah, y'all probably don't want to stare at my butt. I don't know. Yeah. Alright, let's turn that on to 500 degrees for 30 minutes. Now 45. I know 500 degrees sounds a little excessive, YouTube, but you have to keep in mind that piece of metal ain't gonna get to, that barrel's not gonna get 500 degrees in 30 minutes. Not from an oven. I mean, you'd have trouble getting it to 500 degrees with a torch, you know. The thin parts of the barrel you could, okay, but the thicker parts, nah, you wouldn't. But anyway, we've got our oil container set up outside. Y'all may not actually see it get dunked into the oil container, but you know, because time restraints, I mean, you take it out, you got to get it in there while it's hot, and there just might not be enough time to adjust the camera. But when it's time to take it out, you guys will certainly see that part. Alright, I'm going to pause the video here for a while. The next video will be of it coming out of the oven and going for the oil bath. YouTube, I almost forgot to tell y'all about the stock on this gun. We are going to be refinishing it as well. It used to be a lot lighter than this, and I guess being handled with dirty hands over the years is what darkened it up. But we're gonna refinish this, and we're gonna redo it in a stain it and varnish it. We'll be using Sensor Cabernet, which it's they call it Cabernet, but it's a cherry finish. Be really reddish colored. Then the little latch here for the barrel's got to have a little bit of tweaking done to it. This fits kind of loosely on the gun. I was able to tighten it up some by pulling this off and putting some paper behind it, and that worked. But you know, obviously paper is not a permanent repair, so. But all this that's not the barrel, I don't know what this coating is on it. Which, let me grab the receiver too. I don't know what this coating is, but I don't think I like it very well. It doesn't seem to be any kind of chemical. It actually seems like paint, and I'll explain that to you. And anyway, all we're gonna do with these parts that are not blued, they're just painted or whatever this coating is. It's gonna be sanded and you know, the metal polished under it, and it'll be repainted. But here on the receiver, I'm not sure if y'all are able to see that. I was able to scrape some of this crap off here, and I could actually see it on my wooden work table out there. And it's I don't believe it to be parkerized, and I believe it to actually just be paint. But anyhow, it was starting to rust under the paint, which that's something I've never seen before. If any of y'all have seen anything like that before, let me know in the comments. And obviously the trigger guard will have to be re-blued and all that. And the bolts, the screws, I should say, they'll be re-blued as well. But all this was painted, and it looks so good that I believe this was factory paint. That it's just going to be repainted. And I'll search around online and see if I can find a stock for this thing that isn't, well, mutilated like this one is. And I'll even try to find another barrel for it. I'd much rather have a full-size shotgun with at least with a 28-inch barrel. You know, I mean, if it was a factory, you know, 28, 30-inch barrel, that's a good length for a shotgun. But anyway, the hammer on this thing's really stiff. If any of y'all got any of these old private label Stevens or actual Stevens Model 94, tell me if y'all's hammer's as stiff as that one is. I mean, that hammer is actually more stiff than that old Hatfield shotgun down there at the house. Which, I don't know, maybe it just needs lubricated or something, but that thing is stiff. But, you know, everything on the gun works perfectly. But anyway, we're gonna refinish this and try to make it look a lot better. The hammer doesn't really have any rust on it, so we're not gonna mess with it. And the trigger doesn't have any rust on it, so we're gonna leave that alone too. And then obviously the trigger guard's gonna get re-blued. I think I already said that. But then after we repaint this, we'll hit it with an automotive wax to help further protect it from the weather, you know. And then we'll also run a coat of wax over the barrel as well to protect it. Well, that's assuming that this bluing even works at all. You know, this is kind of uncharted territory for me. I've done it, you know, a couple times with a couple pocket knives with a torch and dunking it, but torch's gonna get a hell of a lot hotter than that oven is, so, you know. Anyway, if it works, you'll see it. If it don't work, y'all see it. Alright, gotta pause the video again. The next one will be me pulling it out of the oven and then dunking it. Alright, pausing the video again. Alright, we're back, YouTube. It's time to pull this puppy on out of the oven and see what we done. We can turn the oven off. Sure hope it got hot enough. Oh yeah, she got hot enough. Alright, YouTube, I gotta pause the video to move the camera. I know it's dark, YouTube, but that little gray spot right in the middle of the screen and kind of to the bottom is the pan that we've got that barrel sitting in. We when I set it in there, it was almost instantly boiled that oil, so you know we got it plenty hot enough. And the barrel actually had turned, I don't know if it was residual oil on it or if it had gotten hot that it kind of discolored the metal to a goldish color, which is right on par with a lot of the other videos that I'd seen on YouTube. So we got plenty hot enough. So alright, we'll pause the video, and the next part will be taking it out when it's cool enough to handle without gloves. That'll be the next part of the video. Okay, YouTube, we're back. It worked, but we got a slightly different result than we'd expected, but I'll show you. I was just gonna have to deal with this thing laying on this dark towel. I didn't want to get oil all over my counters. But let's get the towel out of the way. Gets oil on it, I'll just have to wipe it up. It actually gave the barrel a goldish titanium like hue. The original bluing that was left. Let me turn the light on there, flash on, where you might see it a little better. The goldish hue that it you know, see, it's kind of a goldish hue there. The original bluing here that was left and not rusty actually darkened up to almost black. But anyway, I don't see, it doesn't look bad at all to me. I'm actually quite impressed with this. But it's not dark enough, so we're gonna have to do it at least twice more to get it to the color that I want. Alright, YouTube, that's gonna end the video. Let me put this thing back here. And then we'll next, well, I won't show y'all any of the videos of